Coming to you from a secret location, this is the Network Podcast. Welcome, I'm Andy, aka Escoblades, one of your hosts and community developers on Assassin's Creed Initiates. Thank you for tuning in wherever you may be in the world. I'm joined by my co-host and fellow Initiates ComDev, Stephen, aka Sixtini. How do you do, sir?
Very good, thanks for asking. Extremely stoked to finally get this thing off the ground, so there's plenty of fun to be had.
Good. And joining us for this episode is a regular guest host, Gabe Graziani, who is the senior ComDev on Assassin's Creed. Thank you also for joining us.
I'd say thank you for having me, but I'm a co-host, so I have to be here. I'm contractually obligated to sit in this chair and talk into this microphone. But it's a pleasure. I always like doing podcasts with you guys.
Cool. It's a blast. It's like old times a little bit.
It's like old times, except now we get to pay you guys, which is cool.
Cha-ching.
I like that.
That's
I don't know.
nice.
I don't know how you guys feel about it. I think it's pretty cool.
I think it's pretty swell.
Yeah.
Cool. So for people thinking old times, what the hell's going on? We've done this sort of thing before, but for the for the basis of this particular podcast, we should probably explain to listeners what's going to be happening with this in the future. So as you may or may not know, Initiates is the destination for all Assassin's Creed fans. And as such, this podcast is going to be one of the ways we're going to be communicating all the cool things that happen on Initiates and Assassin's Creed in general. And we're going to be telling you what it has to offer. So that's what the podcast is really going to be about. And we'll see what the schedule's like. I mean, things happen, but hopefully we'll have some sort of semi-regular schedule with the podcast, and it'll be something for people to look forward to. We have big plans, and so we'll see how things go. Anyway, we're going to go straight into what's going to be a regular segment, which is the month in review, or at least a time period in review, rather. So I'm going to throw it to Stephen, who's going to give us a little bit of a rundown of what's happened on Initiates prior to us recording the podcast. Take it away.
Hey, thanks. Yeah, so what we're going to kind of do with these podcasts is run through everything that's happened from podcast to podcast. So any new content, anything that's dropped in a new pack, and also probably run into upcoming content that we may or may not get to. Well, first of all, we'd like to thank all of you for your patience and feedback in the forums as we work through some technical issues. We've communicated that plenty of times, so keep it up. As for our Pack 12 deployment, as you guys can see in the forum post, it's stickied in our feedback section. We've introduced new titles to both our envoys and our ComDevs to make it a little bit easier for you guys to get information and help more officially. We've also introduced a new item to the My Collection section, which is the Edward Kenway shirt and cufflinks. We've also linked to that through the Pack 12 post.
I think Gabe should get one of those shirts. I think you'd be looking dashing in that. I think.
Pretty dapper, yeah, definitely.
What is it? Is it a real shirt?
Yeah, it's a real tee.
It's a real
shirt.
cloth shirt.
Yeah.
That you can put on
With cuffs and cufflinks
With
and
cuffs and cufflinks.
button down and everything.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty
So-
Yeah,
dapper
I'm not going to
stuff.
turn one of those down.
Yeah. Wear that with a dinner jacket, and hidden blades on it. Okay, maybe not.
I'll be all ready
Yeah,
to go.
definitely.
Yeah.
We've also got new missions, which you guys are pretty stoked about as well, that we introduced at Pack 12. 4 to be exact. We have Corsair of the Spanish Man, Daring Raider, Derelict Salvager, and Trusted Navigator. We know you guys really love the missions, and we really appreciate all the feedback you guys give us on the missions. So keep that up and have fun.
I love missions. I don't know about you guys, but I really love missions. I love having them tied in to the games as well.
Yeah.
It's almost like, I remember the first time we did them, and we were like, it's like magic. How does it know what we've done in the game? I remember Gabe actually was like, oh, it's so cool. And like, I get a shiny badge at the end as well.
Yeah, no, definitely. Well, and I like it too because I get to go back through the old back catalog and revisit. Actually, it was a little bit upsetting because I didn't realize how low my completion percentage was on Revelations. I thought I had completed it to 100%, but I went back to look at it to go do some of the challenges from Revelations and got an unpleasant surprise. It was really I was like 82%. I'm just like, what's going on? And so then I started looking back through the progress bar and stuff, and I'm just like, I haven't done any of these things.
Yep. I thought mine was high as well, and then I saw Steven's, who's 100% on everything. So
I'm pretty diehard that way.
Dude, what?
These are the benefits of not having a life.
Steven lives in the Animus.
Yes. And this is my work account, may I add. I've done this thing twice. So yeah, I'm pro.
You live in the Animus, so you could just manipulate all of the progress.
Dev hacks.
All right.
Oh man. Okay, so we've also tweaked how our system works, how our overview works, and it's linked to our progression reward system. So now every user will have a tailored overview based on their level. It'll track their level, and if you, for example, our level 3 initiates exclusive Black Flag bundle, if you've reached the level and redeemed the content, you will automatically see your surveillance tile. But if you haven't yet reached the required level or unlocked the content, you'll be prompted to do so once you reach that level. And beforehand, you will be given the information on how to get that content and how to unlock it. So that will be dynamic, and it will be expanding in the future as we introduce new content and unlockables to our progression system. We've also this month had our second dev Q&A on the forums. You guys have been submitting questions, and Darby McDevitt has been kind enough to answer them throughout the week. So that's been pretty cool. Your questions have been fantastic, and Darby was really, really stoked to answer those questions. We'll also have many more of those coming up in the future. So stay tuned for future posts by us. We'll let you guys know with plenty of time and get posting.
Yeah, Darby is a great sport. I like Darby, and he was really enthusiastic to take part as well. So it was good to see so many questions come in. With regards to content on initiates, we've had some really new, the really cool surveillance updates. Now, I don't know if you've seen these, Gabe, but the surveillance updates which track what's happening in the present day, those have been fantastic because we've just entered a really new period for those, and they're happening in Osaka. So if you haven't checked those out, you really should. I mean, that's something that's going to be developing, and it's extremely exciting. There were some new dossiers put in as well. A lot of them were focused on the golden age of piracy, and so, you know, if you want to read up on your pirate yar, then definitely check out the dossiers as well. And of course, the Lost Memories, which a lot of people enjoy doing on a daily basis. The new set was Eden in Pieces, and so of course, I don't need to explain that you know, Pieces of Eden. That's what are those? Well, I can show you sometime. They're very persuasive. So that was that's been the content review, and we've also had the video interview with the Brahman guys, which is really cool. That was really good, and there were great sports answering questions and stuff, so you can stay tuned for that at some point in the future. So yeah, that's pretty much the Initiates monthly review. Thank you, Stephen, for being so able in running through all of that for us. We're now going to move on to Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, and again, we want to say from all the teams who worked on it, a big thank you for playing it, for going out to buy it, and hopefully enjoying the game, enjoying the pirate experience, the pirate assassin experience.
Yes.
And I mean, you probably expect me to say it, but I really enjoyed my time with it. And I think it's down to the way I play it. I don't know if you're the same, Gabe, but the way Stephen and I play it, we get to a particular new location, and they're like over 50 different locations, right?
So there are 75 unique locations spread out over 50 different islands.
That's it. And whenever we get to a new one, we have to do everything. Have to do everything we can before we move on. And I think that's part of, it kind of adds to the atmosphere, because you get that feeling of, this is what Edward would have done as a pirate, right? You get there and it's like, right, where is all the chests? We need to find all the treasure, and we need to just completely, so
you're going to squeeze squeeze that mango until there's no more juice.
Yep. And so I'm
Yes.
constantly getting that. Well, okay, that was pretty good. So yeah, I constantly go for all of those. Some of those animus fragments actually, because they're placed right next to trees at odd angles that you have to jump, and I like find myself 5 minutes later still trying to get one. But yeah, you know, I try and clear everything before I go off on the story missions. But no, I had a great time. I'll tell you why exactly as well. Sailing around listening to sea shanties. I could just do that all day.
The shanties, it's funny because I think we didn't. I don't know. I was not like really that excited about the shanties when I first heard about it, because I'm like, oh, this is okay. So there's gonna be some guys singing songs on the boat or on the ship. That'll be cool and everything. But then I sat down with the game when it got into a playable state, and suddenly realized that I had just been sailing for like 15 minutes, just listening to this song and being totally entranced by it. Because I mean, really, for like a bunch of drunken crooks, like your crew, they have amazing voices. Like they sing really, really well. And the songs are hilarious.
Yeah.
Like some of the lyrics are just crazy. So yeah, I'm glad that you guys are liking those. I'm glad that it seems like the community is liking it. I think this is probably an appropriate time to plug our companion app, which just recently became available on phones in addition to tablets. The Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag companion app. You can find it in the Google Play Store. You can find it in the iTunes App Store. You can also find it on, because it's available, you can find it on Amazon, the Amazon App Store, because in case you're like, if you're like me and you have a Kindle Fire HD and you're just like, man, I just got Candy Crush like 2 weeks ago. Well, you can also have the Assassin's Creed 4 companion app. That's available. And the cool thing about the companion app is not only do you have the lyrics so you can sing along to the sea shanties as you're like sailing the seas, but you can also play them when you're away from the game. So you can listen to them as long as you have access to Wi-Fi or an internet connection of some kind on your tablet or phone. You can listen to sea shanties wherever you are.
That was a recent discovery. You actually showed me that, and it just blew my mind. I was like, oh, so this companion app just became 10 times better. It was like really good before, but it's like now I can have shanties on the go. I don't have to look for them anywhere. They're right there.
I don't want to overstate it, but it's like adding a fifth dimension to the universe, basically.
That good. By the way, Gabe, are you like one of only 5 people who have a Kindle Fire HD?
I wouldn't want to comment on our friends and wonderful business partners, Amazon, about their install base. I would not, but I'm very satisfied with my Kindle Fire HD. It's a wonderful device. I do enjoy it a lot. But yeah. Well, actually, I find that's the case for a lot of the Droid devices. Like, because we've been getting a lot of feedback from people about like whether or not things are compatible with the companion app is compatible with their device and stuff like that. I want people to know that we do listen to all of that. The team working on the companion app, I think has been demonstrated. They've been working furiously in order to get it onto as many tablets as possible, as many phones as possible, and they have been doing a spectacular job. I think. Would want to give them a round of applause because I'm very happy that I can access it on so many devices now.
I am. And of course, another thing that we noticed as well, Stephen and I noticed it with the companion app, was there's a nice little plug for initiates in there.
Yes.
Which was very nice to see. There's an initiates feed. So all the more reason why you should go get it.
Yeah, it should be everywhere though. That's the goal.
I mean, what was it like during the development? Like, I mean, was there really, I heard a rumor, and it's a rumor, but I heard a rumor that there was some Friday night rum like consumption.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I mean, it's a there's such a thing as crunch in game development, and so you end up in the studio at late hours, and at some points it's like, it's a weekend or whatever, and you still have a desire to go out. And of course, one of the things that we do as a team to sort of build a team is we'll hold what we call 5 sets in Montreal, which is, I'm bludgeoning the French 5 set, but it's actually means 5 to 7. So it's like a happy hour, basically. So we would routinely have, well, not routinely, I guess. We would habitually, no, not habitually either. We would occasionally, that's better, occasionally hold these kinds of like, you know, little mini parties to loosen up the team and stuff. And of course, rum played a big part in it. We were able to access some pretty good rum here in Montreal because, you know, we were able to import it from a wide variety of Caribbean locales. So yeah, it's been great, and you know,
Blackbeard would have been proud.
He would. He would have been. He would have been very proud.
So I mean that's awesome. I mean for me because like it's like the development team really getting almost in character, as it were. All you need is someone walk the plank. Although Pirates never really did that apparently.
No, well, there are a few. Well, it's kind of similar to keel hauling. That was really more of a practice of like the different navies, like the different military outfits that had very strict rules, things like flogging and stuff like that. Like pirates just kill you because they don't need to. You know, if you committed a crime, especially like Black Bartholomew Roberts, he didn't mess around. Like if you didn't shave, he would shoot you in the face. Like you follow his rules, or he would just kill you. Yeah. So they didn't spend a lot of time with like, oh, you're gonna have to walk the plank. No, just shoot him. Or stab him.
Wow, that sounds. But I mean, that probably you know accounts for why he was the most successful pirate.
He ran a tight, bloody ship.
What about you, Stephen? I mean, what's your favorite bit of AC4 Black Flag so far?
I think anything to do with Anne. To be quite honest.
I am in agreement.
Yeah.
You're a hard
Sorry, my
heart
mind
that
is
should
running
be
here a bit, but
self-esteem.
I don't know if it's nepotism because she's Irish and awesome, but yeah, Anne is pretty much my favorite thing about Assassin's Creed 4.
Okay, and
That and rope darting monkeys, that's pretty awesome too.
yes,
I haven't even done that yet.
I did this yesterday. So what you can do to make it easier for yourself is you find the location on the map. The map shows you sort of the general location. Where I was looking for a red capuchin. A red howler, not red capuchin. Sorry.
Right, they're still difficult.
Yeah. And so you go into the forest and then you turn eagle vision on and they show up in red. And then, of course, as soon as you get close enough, you can just whip out the rope dart and the poor little thing falls from the tree and bounces around.
No, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty fantastic. I think I was doing one of the Abstergo challenges. I was kind of getting my last few % of sync, and I think one of them was to rope dart 5 animals or something like that.
Yes.
And I think I had rope darted 1 or 2 deer, and then all of a sudden there was no deer left, so I looked in the tree and there was a monkey. And then the best thing ever happened. So yeah, I recommend everybody does that.
We're going to look at the stats and suddenly it's going to be like animals rope darted, big spike. Yeah. So your favorite character in the game is Anne Bonny. Are we putting that down on record?
Yeah. Publish it in a book.
See, she's great and all, and I would agree with you, but funnily enough, my favorite character in the game is Adewale. I wonder why, but anyway. I thought Adewale was pretty spectacular. I thought Tristan did a great job on his performance capture. And I'm looking forward to more Adewale, which we'll get on to shortly. But Gabe, who was your favorite character in AC?
Oh boy, I want to say Stede Bonnet, but I really don't feel like he got enough screen time to really occupy that top slot. I mean, I would almost just go with the easy mode answer and go with Edward, but I think Addy is a close second, a very, very close second, to where I almost would rather answer Adewale, but I would say Edward just because I don't know. He goes through such a progression throughout the course of the story, and you spend so much time with him, like getting to know him and getting to understand his motivations, and then watch how those motivations change over the course of the game. And I really have to tip my hat to Darby because he did such an excellent job of creating an architecture for that story to happen in a really what I think is a really believable way. Because I know from looking at the things that the community has said and stuff like that, like all the way through this campaign up to the game's release, people were really afraid that it was going to be, this crazy Pirates of the Caribbean kind of like really fantastical thing that Assassin's Creed is not about.
Yeah.
Right? So I felt like Edward's character, the things that he goes through, the way he reacts to his situations, the crazy situations he finds himself in, they really go a long way to adding a depth and realism to this story that otherwise I feel like it might just be a crazy adventure story that is just always off the rails.
Yeah. Again, Darby did a great job with the story, and there were certain parts. I mean, okay, so for the sake of people who might not have played it at this point, we're not going to ruin anything too much. But there were certain characters that I really like. For the first time in a long time, I felt a connection with, and that's the sign of good storytelling, I think. So props to Darby if you're listening.
Well, it's funny because I feel like, I don't know, like Darby also wrote Revelations.
He did.
And it's interesting to me that I feel like a lot of people had a very, a very close, like, association, like, very tight bond with Yusuf.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I feel like Black Flag is full of Yusuf.
Full of it.
It's packed with Yusuf Tazims. Like, there's all these characters that are in there that you grow to be really fond of.
Yeah.
That is true. I did actually text him. There's a certain moment, and again, I'm not going to go into it, but there's a certain moment that happened, and it made me drop my controller and text him. I was like, well done, sir. Well done. So, like I said, that's the hallmark of some really good storytelling. We did touch on Adewale, and like I said, Team Adewale is my favorite character in the game.
Hashtag Team Adewale.
Hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about. And we've got, it's a nice segue into the upcoming DLC, which I've been extremely excited for since I saw that first trailer.
Yeah.
So, Gabe, tell us a little bit about Freedom Cry, the Freedom Cry DLC.
Oh, gosh. Well, see, here's the thing is I'm not sure what I'm able... I can tell you that I just played some of it. Like, not the entire... and not in its entirety, but...
And we are both insanely jealous, and we're going to do the same very soon.
I can tell you it's magnificent. I'm really enjoying it. I think a lot of people are familiar. If you played Assassin's Creed 4, you should be a little bit familiar with Adewale's past. That he was a slave at a certain point, and then gained his freedom through violence, through violent revolution, and was able to become a freedman, quartermaster of the Jackdaw. So Freedom Cry takes place following the events of Assassin's Creed 4. It's actually a considerable amount of time after Assassin's Creed 4. But Adewale will find himself now the captain of his own ship, but thrust into a situation where he'll have to confront his past and the slavery that exists in the Caribbean at that time. Yeah, it's so compelling. It's the first time I think we've tried a story this emotionally charged, and with this much sort of like controversy and history. Like, I'm really excited the way I've seen the story be treated so far. Like, it doesn't pull punches, it doesn't sugarcoat things, it also doesn't take advantage of things purely for that sort of shock value. Because that was a fear for me, was that if you're going to do a story about slavery, that's going to come with a lot of baggage and a lot of chances for you to put your foot wrong and mess it all up and really offend people. Playing through it, I feel like it's really accomplished in its storytelling, and yeah, I'm adoring it. There's new weapons. Oh, Adewale's fighting style is incredibly brutal. It is incredibly brutal. Well, he's a big guy like Connor, right? Like Edward, and like I think the most lithe was probably Altair. Was probably the most I don't want to say stylistic, but certainly the most like acrobatic, I guess, and Ezio as well. But they were like skinny guys. They were thin guys, and even Edward is pretty thin. But Adewale is much closer to Connor,
Yeah.
and probably I think he's bigger.
I
than
think he's
Connor.
bigger than Connor.
Yeah, yeah, and he uses that strength to his advantage, man. It's incredible.
It is.
He's a force of nature.
And I like that you mentioned, because that was the first thing that hit me when I saw that the debut trailer was emotionally charged, because there were so many different emotions running through my mind at that particular point in time. But at the same time, I felt happy with the way it was displayed through the 2 and a bit minutes of that particular trailer. I also love that folk music.
Yeah.
We've been lucky
Yeah.
enough to have a chance to hear some of the preview music from the soundtrack. So there is a separate soundtrack for Freedom Cry. Olivier Derny, I don't want to butcher his surname, but there is a separate soundtrack, and he released some of the previews on his website, and it's just, it's a mix of the sort of the African heritage, but the Haitian and the Caribbean drums and all of that. It's really rhythmic, and it really fits. So that, I mean, just on the basis of that as well, and just on the basis of that trailer, I just thought, I have to play this. It's going to be awesome, and I'm really looking forward to get it. Like I said, Adewale was my favorite character. I feel he didn't get nearly as much screen time as I wanted him to. I mean, it's nice to want things, but so yeah. I mean, what about you, Stephen? You in the same boat?
Oh yeah, definitely. I loved Adewale. Absolutely loved him. Wanted more and more and more. So now I'm finally getting it. So I'm still petitioning for Anne Bonny DLC. So if you'd like to sign it, I'll put a link to it. No. That's just a fantasy. But yeah, no, I'm all about Adewale too. It was kind of we could actually share this right now. Adewale and Edward are based on me and Andy.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
we're that fantastic.
yeah, there are similarities. We'll put it that way.
Devilishly handsome.
Oh man, we need to do a video podcast so people can see us.
Yeah.
Would that make me Calico Jack? Where do I or Charles Vane? Oh no, I'm Steve Bonnet.
Could you do a Charles Vane? Could you do a Charles Vane?
I'm definitely Steve Bonnet. That's me.
I'll get the guys who sunk my ship.
I'm not taking the coat off. This is a bad idea.
Oh no, I'm a husband and a father. I couldn't go to Nassau. oh man. So yes, Freedom Cry coming very soon. We're all looking forward to that, and we hope you guys do as well. And people get that as part of the season pass?
Yes, they do. They do. In addition to the things that they've already gotten, at least I hope they've gotten, right? Like the Kraken ship pack, that you get day one with the season pass, and it only comes with the season pass.
Yep.
It's I sail around with that all the time with the sails, the what is the thing on the front of the ship called? I can't even remember.
The figurehead?
Yeah,
That's the
figurehead.
one.
And then also the wheel, of course.
Yes.
But yeah, and then we just had the multiplayer pack that also comes with the season pass.
Mm-hmm.
You can play as Blackbeard, the Black Orchid, and the Coyote. Is that what he called? No, I forget. Now I forget. There's 3 of them though. There's 3 characters in there, and new maps. But the new maps you don't necessarily have to purchase the DLC in order to get. That is backed by popular demand. Free maps for y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's those are the, and there's more on the way as well. There's more content coming. I don't want to say there's more, episodes of Freedom Cry or anything like that, but there is more content on the way.
So the season pass is definitely worth the investment.
Certainly.
Yeah.
Certainly.
I think it's the best yet, to be honest.
Yeah.
Woo! That's good to hear.
I love my Altair sales.
Oh yes, and of
Pretty
course,
awesome.
there's some unique exclusive stuff for people on initiates as well, based on your progression. So you can get some fancy sales.
Yeah.
If you're an initiate, you can get you get some fancy sales. You get
The
you get
best
costume.
sales, Andy.
Yes.
The best sales.
They just, I mean, anyone seeing that on the high seas is going to turn and run. I don't care if you're in a man of war. I don't care what ship you're in. If you're in El Impolito, the legendary ships were a pain.
Were you just reminded of something? Your entire expression.
They were a pain. Oh man, props to everyone who's done that achievement.
I'll tell you a secret. I still have not defeated Ellen Paluto. I still have not.
You have to be really...
Max Jackdaw.
You know what? I'm going to give a shout out to Allegra because she gave me the advice for that. You have to be aggressive with Ellen Paluto. You have to ram it.
Really?
Yeah. It seems counterintuitive, but you have to ram it when it tries to ram you.
What?
And then when it's almost like the AI realizes that, oh, this captain's not gonna... Yeah, we gotta... And then it suddenly turns to run, and then you can mortar it, and then you can hit it with heavy shot and everything. But you have to be aggressive, otherwise it will just continue to come at you.
You learn something new every day.
I know. So Allegra, thanks for that. Yeah. The legend.
She didn't get to me in time. I lost the controller. To that fight. And Ashraf and Darby got a pretty heated message from me too.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
The damn twins.
Oh, the twins. There's
Yeah.
a trick to the twins, though.
Don't get stuck in.
Yeah, I figured it out on I think my 96th attempt. I was like, oh, okay, so that's how you do it.
Yeah, all the rest was, that's not how you do it. Nope, try again.
Well, the worst thing is, I'm just like, yes, I got one. Oh no!
The other one
That's
is
batshit
gone
crazy.
aggro. Evasive maneuvers, the other one is seeing red, literally. So, yeah. But yeah, props to everyone who's done that particular achievement. I enjoyed the legendary ships in between Seeds of Rage. What can I say? You know, it's a challenge. It's supposed to be a challenge.
Yeah, for people who are just like, the game's too easy, talk to me about legendary ships. And then we'll have a discussion about how easy the ship combat is.
In fact, you know what? If you're listening and you managed to do the 4 legendary ships without having the full Jackdaw upgrades, leave us a comment. Be interesting to see how many people managed to do that, because I had to get all of them. I had to get all of the elite upgrades. Ellen Paluto was just too... Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, leave us a comment and let us know if you were able to do that. And that's pretty much it. That's what we've got time for. I mean, it's been a pleasure talking to you guys as always. And so we're gonna leave you guys with links you should check out. These will all be in the description of the video, by the way, so feel free to click that, read more tab and check out all of the links. But Gabe, do you have anything you want to...
Yes, absolutely. I always do. Of course, there's our marvelous multi-million fan Facebook page, www.facebook.com/Assassin's Creed, all one word, no apostrophe. In addition, we also have our delightful Twitter channel, which is www.twitter.com/Assassin's Creed, again, all one word with no apostrophe. So yeah, definitely go and check those out. We also have a Google Plus page. I'm not sure what the URL is for it, but I'm sure if you search for Assassin's Creed on Google Plus, it will come up, because it's tuned that way, Google Plus.
And Stephen?
Yeah, also don't forget to check out acinitiates.com, obviously, because it is the best. But we've got new content coming out all throughout this month and far into the future, so stay tuned. And also be sure to subscribe to this very YouTube channel. It's AC Initiates, youtube.com/AC Initiates. We'll be putting these podcasts out on this channel, hopefully monthly, so stay tuned and definitely subscribe and you'll get them as soon as they come out.
Excellent. And we might, we're not going to make any promises, we might have a special guest on the next episode, or special guests, who knows?
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed, but it should be a good one. So, feel free to leave us feedback on this podcast. Let us know what you thought in the comments. I'd love to see some discussion going. You can also do so on our forums, as Steve has just mentioned, acinitiates.com. And that's pretty much all we've got time for. We're going to have to bail, because it seems someone is on to our broadcast location, so we're going to have to scrub this room down and leave it. But we'll hopefully be back again soon. So stay vigilant and keep watching. Bye for now.